What does happen after we die? Shit. Welcome back, guys. I just watched the movie The Discovery and it's on Netflix right now. This movie is about the question, what happens after we die? And Dr. Harbour actually finds out that, hey, something does happen to us after we die. He finds out that our conscience or our brainwaves does leave our body and go somewhere else, meaning that there is something after life. Now, for some reason, this discovery has caused a lot of people who are dealing with problems or like having some kind of troubles in their lives to reset their life, which means suicide. And it's caused like millions of people to commit suicide, and it's just insane. After an interview, Dr. Harbour decides to go away for 2 years, hide away in his island, and this is where Jason Segel, who plays Will, his son, decides to ride a ferry to his island, and this is where he meets Isla, who actually believes that maybe this discovery was actually good for people, you know, it's kind of like an escape from their troubles and problems. But Will's like, nah, I'm not having it, you know, you should live your life and fulfill it. And I agree, enjoy your life. Now, through some events, getting to the island and all this stuff, which I don't want to spoil because a lot of things do happen. And they do talk about some of their background, like, you know, Will's mother and Isla's son. I don't want to give that away because it adds to the story. But eventually they end up at his father's mansion, which looks like the X-Men mansion, except like a lot darker and creepy. And it kind of looks like it belongs to like some kind of cult, which is funny actually now to think about it, because Will does make a remark about it. But once they get there, they realize that his father has been working on something else to figure out the answer to his question in the beginning. And this is where I kind of have problems with this movie, but I'll answer that in the end. Now, this is a really good looking movie. The cinematography is excellent. The dark tones that they use in this movie was awesome, especially with the sound that they were using. It added so much more when they played those sounds. I thought it was amazing. But where it does falter for me is in the plot lines, because we have the whole Will and Isla like love story going on. And from the beginning of the movie, when they first meet, you can tell that something is going on there. It's pretty obvious that something's going to happen with them. The good thing is that they don't beat around the bush. It just kind of happens. And then also we have like, you know, the whole story about the mansion and the people that live there, like Lucy and then his brother that's like a pothead, I think. But at the same time, I feel like the movie was dancing around the question that they were trying to answer. And at the same time, it's like they were trying to answer it by showing us like way too much. But it just made it way more confusing because I felt like they were asking each other like questions like, you know, is this really the afterlife? Is this just a memory? Is this something from a different like timeline? Or is this like an alternate universe? Which was freaking awesome, to be honest, because all those questions I was asking myself, and then the movie was like, hey, think about this for a little bit longer. And I was like, damn it, like, can it just make a little bit more sense? So of course his dad's building this weird machine that hooks to your brain. I don't know if you guys seen the poster, but they show it in the poster itself. And the cool thing is that this does project images out onto the screen. And this is also where I have more issues with the movie, because the technology they're using in a way is super old, it's super retro. And the way this movie is being portrayed is that this is taking place in a futuristic world. And honestly, it doesn't look all that futuristic once you go into the lab and you see all this old ass equipment. It just looks super bulky. And then another thing that I noticed was that Will somehow gets footage out of this machine onto his tablet. How? I don't know. But he made it happen somehow. But I'm being nitpicky, I know, but I just couldn't wrap it around my head. So in a way, it's like Dr. Harbour is trying to figure out the answer to his own question, but then at the same time we have Will and Isla trying to figure it out on their own. But then later on, Dr. Harbour kind of just stops, but then Will and Isla continue, and then it just gets all kind of messy here and there. But in the end, I do want to talk about the end a little bit, but I won't spoil it. It's good. I will say that. It's good. It's a good revelation. I liked it, but at the same time, it didn't make much sense. Because in a way, it kind of foreshadowed, you know, what was going to happen in the end. And when Will hooks himself to the machine, I'm like, I know what's going to happen. And it's kind of weird because in a way, it doesn't really answer the questions that we had. It left me asking more questions like, you know, what if? Like, what if this actually did happen? Or, you know, is there going to be like a second part? Maybe they will explore a little bit more. Because let's face it, we're always going to wonder why or how the hell these things exist. The revelation at the end was pretty cool. I did like it, but I feel like it could have been executed a little bit better. My favorite scene from the movie itself was the beginning. And I know it's terrible to say that the beginning was my favorite, but it was amazing. It was like the best 5 minutes of the entire movie. The way that it's set up, there's a suicide on screen on this interview thing, and I was just like, damn, that was crazy. The movie did set up in the beginning that it was gonna be dark and eerie, which I liked, by the way, because it kept it in that way, but at the same time with the whole plot and storyline, it just kept changing here and there, and I was just like kind of confused. But this movie is definitely worth a watch, especially if you want to watch it with some friends, because you guys will be asking each other a lot of questions, you know, about life, you know, or death. And in a way, this movie reminds me of Flatliners. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie, but it's kind of the same thing where they ask each other, you know, what happens after death. But in the end, guys, I did enjoy the movie overall. I just thought it was gonna blow me away. It didn't, so I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. Definitely check it out, guys. It's on Netflix right now, so if you have Netflix, hey, why not watch this? It's pretty fun, especially if you're into like questions like that. They have a lot of theories in the movie that are pretty cool. They just don't explore it as well as I wanted them to. But if you guys did check out this movie or are gonna plan on watching it, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the question? Do you guys think that they answered it, or do you guys think that it leaves more questions on your mind? Make sure to leave those down in the comments. But guys, if you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, if you guys are new to my channel and you guys like my content, please subscribe. But as always, stay tuned.